Koro-sensei bitch slaps some sense into his students in this week's episode of Assassination Classroom. This episode reminded me how scary Koro-sensei can be and how intimidating he can be, and that's a pretty big accomplishment considering that he's basically just a big smiley face with tentacles. So what's going down in this week's episode of Ass Class? Well, it's actually kind of ridiculous. At the beginning of the episode, Nagisa and all of his fellow students from Class 3E are training by doing some parkour around the city, which honestly is really cool. It shows how far they've come, and they're all ninja-like when they're spinning around in the air. The problem is, they still haven't perfected their training, and they end up falling on top of this old man riding his bicycle, who just so happens to be the principal of this little, preschool. So, now that he's hurt, he's not going to be able to help out the students, so the punishment is that all of the students of Class 3E are going to have to tip in and take care of these kids. Not to mention, they're going to have to completely remodel the entire school, which almost makes this episode feel like something of a reality TV show, getting to see all of the before and after shots. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't really care for this episode all that much. I liked more the latter half of the episode when we're finally starting to get some clues to Koro-sensei and his actual origins, where apparently he had some relationship with some woman. I don't know, they're still keeping it really mysterious, but this episode was just all schmaltzy. It just made you feel good and fuzzy and warm inside. One of the main stars from this week's episode was the gender-bending character Nagisa Shiota, who was helping out this older girl by the name of Sakura, who was reluctantly having to hang out with all these preschooler kids, and she gets bullied by all of her peers, and she skips class a lot, thus she's got a lot of work to do. Luckily, Nagisa ends up beating some sense into her with the power of kindness. It's so freaking schmaltzy, man. I can't deal with it. Not my type of episode. That being said, I loved Koro-sensei's reaction to the students actually running into the old man and hurting him, because he gets really pissed off. He turns completely black, his eyes contort and everything, and he just looks so evil and has this aura about him, and he just bitch slaps all of the students. All at once. One of the most amazing anime slaps I've ever seen. Bright Noah from Gundam would totally be impressed by Koro-sensei. This was a crazy scene. He actually literally knocked some sense into his students, and yet he's gonna get away with it. He was not supposed to harm his students. I love the fact that Karasuma's like, you know what? I'm okay with this. Hell, Koro-sensei, do it again! To make matters worse, it's 2 weeks away from midterms, and since the students are helping out with these kids so much, they don't have the time to study. So when midterms come around, they all suck balls. Except for Karma Akabane, who's been studying on the side. I especially love the scene where Karma actually confronts the 5 virtuosos who have got to be the lamest squad since the frickin' Team Rocket. And so what's the rundown on this week's episode of Assassination Classroom? This was another life lesson kind of episode. You know, you could put one of those weird little rainbow effects with the star at the end, the more you know at the end of the episode, because that's exactly what's going on in this one. But I really love how it's starting to tie into the origins of Koro-sensei, especially with that scene at the very end of this week's episode. I hope they really start to get into more of that as the episodes are going on, because I want to see more progression from that. You know, I think I've had enough of these little character and student moments. I'm ready to sort of move forward and see the next evolution of the series. Although this episode did make it painfully clear that all of the students are getting restless, because it's only a couple of months before Koro-sensei decides he's just going to destroy everything. And of course they have to assassinate him, they want to win that money, but at the same time they still want to get a good education. It's a very interesting series, and I can't wait to see how they're all going to tie this up at the end. Just a quick reminder, I don't watch the manga, or that is to say I don't read the manga. I only watch the anime version, so I'm completely in the dark as to really what's going to be happening in the rest of this series. But really, I just don't have that much more to say about this episode. I really wish I did, but this just wasn't the episode for me, but I still can't wait to see what they're going to do with the rest of the series. So for me personally, this was kind of an average episode of Assassination Classroom. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It definitely had some funny moments, and I think the humor was definitely the strength of this episode. Koro-sensei's reaction, the one student with his pants down randomly in the middle of a preschool classroom, which when saying that out loud sounds pretty freaking creepy. But if you want to see a pretty goofy and warm feeling episode of Assassination Classroom, then check out this one. If anything, you'll get to see Koro-sensei bitch slapping some students. But if any of you watch this week's episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. Did you have a favorite scene? Maybe a favorite funny scene from this episode? How about when Karma was beating the crap out of Terasaka? That was pretty awesome. Or did you like some of the weird, happier moments, like the before and after shots, which were like a weird reality TV show? And what do you want to see from the rest of Assassination Classroom? Please tell me in the comment section below. You guys are freaking awesome! Thank you for watching this review. Make sure to share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!